Hi, my name is Andrew Reinertsen, and today I'm going to be presenting the topic of functional medicine. It's titled Functional, the Way Your Body Should Work. I thought I'd start off by asking you a few questions. How many of you are actively exercising? How many of you take vitamins to get your daily intake? And how many of you have a chronic illness? These questions form around one main idea, which is, how are you? If you can say that your quality of life is sufficient, then you are happy and healthy. But if you cannot say your quality of life is sufficient, then a change is needed. And functional medicine can satisfy that change in almost every aspect of your life. From diet and nutrition to emotional and mental health, functional medicine highlights key aspects of a patient's life in order to correct any sort of malfunction. It is a patient-centered practice rather than disease-centered, allowing patients a chance to really find the root cause of their problems rather than just a remedy. Doctors like Mark Hyman have worked restlessly to push this new model in order to correctly help sufferers of chronic illness. And though it has grown exponentially in the last 30 years, many people are still oblivious to just how helpful this treatment could be. The functional medicine model is the model of the future. The conventional medicine model is out of date and cannot work with chronic illness like the new functional medicine model, which is a model formed with the interest of a patient and their quality of life. To start off, I thought I'd show off this chart, which basically shows the differences in conventional and functional medicine. There are quite a few, but the main thing is that conventional medicine is disease-oriented, so it focuses on the problem, and it's a generic treatment, rather than functional medicine, which considers the patient. It is a patient-centered practice, which focuses on how the patient lives and how that could affect how they feel. So, to start off, let's go into the history of it. I wanted to talk about the conventional medicine model because it really branches from it. That being said, the conventional medicine model has also done a load for the medical field in regards to finding vaccines and remedies for illnesses like polio and tuberculosis and pneumonia. And so I included this quote which talks about it and giving it credit because it deserves it. However, fast forward to these last 30 years, and I include this quote which talks about how organizations and companies have come together and started to invest in educational opportunities in teaching practitioners the ways of functional medicine, but also teaching normal people, the public. There's a website, the Introduction to Functional Medicine, which has a treatment plan. I use that source for this topic. Mark Hyman, which I will talk about next, in his plan, the Daniel Plan, he created an educational treatment plan which taught bunches of people how to take care of themselves. And so, as you could see, the reason I bring up Mark Hyman is because he is a credible person and a big advocate in the functional medicine community. He's a prestigious author, being a 10-time New York Times #1 bestseller. He wrote for the Washington Post. And basically how he attacked this idea of helping this Christian community with obesity and diabetes is that he took 30,000 people from a church and separated them into groups of 5,000 that met once a week. And every time they learned new parts of how they could improve their quality of life. And I have included a plate, which is basically the ideal meal for this new quality of life that they are trying to achieve. Within that first year, however, it was very successful. The group lost a total of 250,000 pounds, which is remarkable. Even though the group was a large population, it's still pretty impressive that they lost that much. That's 250,000. With that being said, that first year basically set it in stone, and 6,000 people just joined instantly. And the website got views from 189 separate countries at the time. So that's pretty impressive. But the big part about it, which made it so successful, was the fact that it was community. It was the idea that a community can come together and basically work together and help change. And so it was very, the word would be influential and inspirational. And that's why it was so effective. It wasn't just the food and the fitness. It was community and having that hope, which Christianity, filled that hope for. And so, though that was such a successful part, the counter argument would be that the conventional medicine model is still an effective way of medicine. It has accomplished a lot in its lifespan between the 20th century and now the 21st century, like the polio vaccine and the tuberculosis vaccine. But functional medicine came from this. And so this article that I found, dated from 2001, tested homeopathy, which is basically placebo, taking sugar pills and doing things that really don't benefit you but seem like they would, and testing it with conventional medicine, taking actual medicine to help cause or the problems. And they really focused on, respiratory system and your ears. And with that being said, functional medicine at the time proved to be not as effective and not as efficient. It was just as, if anything, and that was in the best case scenario. So at the time, this just showed that conventional medicine was still the ideal way. However, this being 18 years old and without the extensive research done since then, functional medicine is still more effective. And though it takes more time, the consistency of how better you feel is shown and is definite. And so that brings me to my call to action. And I wanted to say that many people suffer from chronic illnesses, especially since it is the leading cause of death. I included this quote, which says, by 2020, worldwide deaths from chronic illnesses are projected to total more than twice the number of deaths from infectious diseases, which means that the conventional medicine model is missing something that can prevent this many people from dying. And the functional medicine model has that missing link. It is time to enlighten the public on just how important the healthy lifestyle is to a human body. Hyman did it with the Daniel Plan 7 years ago, and it was extremely successful. The advancement in medicine, technology, and therapy could truly benefit more of the population if they were taught true self-care. Do not let conventional medicine be the only remedy within life. This includes my sources. The source for my counter argument is Fourth Down, and thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of the night.